Hello folks, welcome to the Whiskered Woodcarver. I'm Jeff C., social media, live video, visual marketing guy, and this is the show where I just talk to my friends and carve for 30 minutes, and we talk about a random topic, just something to maybe kind of wind your day down. If you're overseas, maybe start your day up, I don't know, but that's what we do on the show, just kind of relaxing, listen to some music, talk with each other, kind of fun stuff. So, so let's go. Oh, first of all, I forgot to mention that we are giving away two of our awesome penguins. One I carved, when we first started the show, and the other one I had in my my zoo of penguins. But we're going to give those away to people who actually share this show out, and or who do the most creative share. So make sure that you do that and get entered in the contest. George is still in the lead. My pal George, he's doing some awesome stuff. So if you want to beat him, you're going to have to bring your A game. So let's go to the carving cam and get started. All right, here we go. So this is what we've been working on. This is one of the first things I ever carved. A little rough, but we're going to see if we can do a little better. This is where we've gotten so far in our time together. And like you can see, we started the timer a little bit early today, but that's all right. I'm not going to go back and fix it. But so let's get started. As always, we start by sharpening our knife, keeping it razor sharp, because otherwise accidents can happen. So here we go. Get some of the sharpening compound on it. Sorry, I'm not in the camera, but get that on there. And this is just it's a little harder than a crown. It's just sharpening compound. Different guys use different colors or have different grit, I guess, to take off parts of the knife. But this is what came with my knife. That's what I've been using. So, and one of my favorite knives. Oh, first we've got to put on the safety apparatus. Put on my cut-proof glove and my thumb guard, and then we'll get started. So how's everybody's Wednesday been? Today's Wednesday. With this stuff going on, everything kind of just tends to run together a little bit. But today's topic is what's the most impressive experience you have. I have one I want to share. Carrie, thank you so much for being here. You had an A-OK day. Carrie is one of the regulars to the show. I really appreciate it, Carrie. What is the thing that you've done that at parties you go, hey, you know what? I did this. What is something? Carrie, what do you do that impresses people? Because I know you have a lot. So we're just going to finish this up. I'm going to continue to round up the fringe. Started to do that a little bit. You can see, still want to take quite a bit of wood off, and then get some little more depth on the top of the fringe of the hat there. So still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with that fringe, how I'm going to do it, but we'll continue to get working on it. Carrie says she can't think of anything. I'm sure there's many things that you've done that's impressive, Carrie. So continue to I think this one I'm going to make the little ball on top of the Santa hat a little smaller, just for a little different look. This wood feels really dry. It's splitting on me a little bit in a weird way at the top of this hat. So, kind of odd. Swing dance. Just because most people don't know you can. Interesting swing dance. That's really cool. It's not something that I'm super impressed. I don't impress people with, but I took 4 years of tap in high school because I started doing a lot of musicals. And we had an all-guy tap troupe, which was a lot of fun. I had a great teacher. But yeah, so swing dance, very cool. Do you do it a lot, Carrie? Still? see, look at that. It split on me right there. It's so dry, and I hit it wrong with the knife, so luckily I'm taking it down, so we'll just kind of try to get some of that off of there. Hey, it's Heather. Good to see you, Heather. I'm sorry I missed your show today. Can you tell me if it auto-played on Twitch? Because I thought I had it set to do that, but I didn't have time to go check. So Carrie says she swing dances just for funsies. Yeah, Carrie says I don't do it a lot, but been too busy. So is there like if somebody my age, which I'm not going to say how old I am, but said, hey, I want to start swing dancing. Where do you go to learn that? So you don't know if I was hosting you or not. I thought I set it up so it would autoplay yours, Heather, but you know, sometimes in my button pressing I get a little crazy. So Heather, what is the most impressive thing that you have done? Like, what do you tell people at parties? Like something they may not know, but it's like, you know, this is something I do that's really cool. No problem, Heather. And I think I'm going to be on the game show Friday. I told Michael that I'm going to do that. So local studio, Carrie says, if you want to learn swing dance. So it'd be kind of hard to swing dance now with social distancing. Like when you swing, you might drop them on the floor. Yeah, it should be fun, Heather. It'll be like old times. Carrie says, you've shown people the basics of swing dance in bars. Gotcha. Yes, Heather, what is the most impressive thing you've done? And don't give me like, give birth to my kids. I want some, you know, of course, that's impressive, but, cause I can't do it. But what, like something that you've done, like Carrie said, swing dancing. What is something impressive that you have done that you like to tell people about? Or maybe it's like, you don't really tell people, but you're really proud of it. So I'm just trying to cut off some, I've been putting it off around his nose to see how I want this to work. So Heather says, I did what is called chalk painting story in front of my entire church for Christmas. That is impressive. Were you kind of nervous to do that? I mean, how long did that take you, Heather? If you're just joining us, we're talking about what is the most impressive thing you've done. Leslie goes, Noah wants to know why you're always carving the same thing. Noah, because I'm very slow. And this is different from the penguin. If you can see, this is the little Santa hat. But I only carve when I'm live with you guys. So that's why it's so slow. I'm sure your dad would be much faster than me. But I'm also talking to my friends, and that also makes me go slow. So Heather says that was the first time she used pastels live in front of people. Oh, you did it to live to music. Oh, that's even more impressive. Wow, Heather, that's really cool. Very cool. So I'm kind of starting to work on this nose a little bit. So I'm going to turn around and get the other side, see if I can not snip it off. So Heather goes, yes, I was extremely nervous. It did not work, but I did not run and hide. You're very impressed. Well, that is very cool. That takes a lot, especially because you're such a good artist. I'm sure that was a lot of pressure to do that. Man, I think maybe that's why I didn't do this show for a while, because I didn't know how I could carve in front of people, because it's kind of a private thing. And did. I mean, a lot of people I know making art is private. It's kind of a thing that they do. But Heather does a great job of explaining stuff and getting her community behind her art. And even like Leslie, don't tell him I said this, but his music that he does on Fridays is pretty amazing. That he does with his wife, and I think, don't tell him this either, but a lot of people like it. And even me a little bit. So, pretty impressive. So, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. So Heather goes, it was a cool concept, looked horrible, I had to finish it home, but I didn't hide. That's awesome. Yeah, we've all done stuff we haven't wanted to hide. We've wanted to go and hide for them, but just think how much you showed people, you know, about art, that it's okay when you make mistakes, and it always doesn't, most of the time it doesn't work out the way you actually want it to. Okay, thanks, Noah. I'm glad you think that this carving is cool. So has your dad let you do any more carvings lately since you're home a lot with him? You need to put you need to drop some of your artwork here, Noah, here in the comments. I would love to see some of your art. Even if it's a drawing. If your dad could take a picture of it, put it in there, that would be really cool. I know a lot of people would like to see that. Yeah, Carrie, he does a Facebook thing on Fridays where he does praise songs with his wife, and his wife is an amazing singer. So it's really cool to see. Cool to watch. And they take requests, which is really pretty cool. But don't tell him I said that. So Heather started by doing cards, paper stuff, never told people I painted like art stuff. Gotcha. So I'm just trying to like define around the nose a little bit here, and kind of, you know, I'm gonna have to round it down, take a lot more wood off, but I just kind of needed a place to start. So I'm gonna take some of this hat off, and then probably even cut some more off of the hat here. So Leslie, what are you most impressed about? That when you tell people stuff, like what are you the things that you are the most impressive experience you've had? Like for me, for example, I'll just give you what I'm kind of looking for. When I was years ago, I was able to go down to Houston at the Space Center, and I was actually able to fly the Space Shuttle simulator. I got to walk around the floor because I was doing some filming for a company there. I was able to walk around the floor, meet some astronauts, but flew the stinking Space Shuttle simulator, and from space with it all running, looking out the windows and stuff. We couldn't use the motion bay because that's when John Glenn was training to go back. And so, yeah, that was probably, other than being married and, you know, having kids and all that stuff, that was probably one of the most cool things that I've done. So Leslie, I want to know something like that. Beat flying the Space Shuttle, okay? That's your bar. Now Leslie will do it probably. Well, Carrie, I think he dropped it in one of the earlier ones, his Friday night piano playing things. If you go to Leslie's profile, you should be able to see it up there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm just taking my time rounding the fringe of the hat before I start to really go into town on some things. I may have to pull out my smaller little Helvey knife here a bit, but I think we're good for a while. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks for dropping that in. Yeah. I mean, you've been on the stage, social media marketing world, but I wanted like something really, you know, that you like when you know, like if you were dating your wife, you'd tell her to impress her. That kind of stuff. And you should still be dating your wife, by the way. She's way out of your league. So continued around. Still got to take some more off these corners. So at this point, like some carver told me, and I've mentioned it before, but you know, take out the shadows, and so that helps me think of like where I need to cut to, you know, take some wood off, and then I'll round things down, and then I'm like, okay, I need to take some more wood off so there's a deeper shadow, and so that's really, I think, helped me kind of understand carving. I never did any like, I did like woodworking in high school where I built like, you know, cutting boards and cabinets and furniture, but we never did sculpting. And so this was a whole nother thing that I had to learn. So yeah, well, Leslie says, when I was doing my master's degree in neurobiology, they sent me to Germany to do research on crickets. I had to create little electrodes out of plastic to record from individual neurons in their little brains. That does count. That is very cool. And you know what? Some other impressive stuff that you were on that TV show. I thought that was pretty cool that you were on that science-y show that you would talk about. You forget that Leslie's been a professor before. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you here. Thank you for stopping by. How's your day been? And what we're talking about, what's the most impressive thing that you've done? Leslie, you know, is neurobiology. Yeah, whatever. I flew the space shuttle. Carrie does swing dancing. Heather did incredible chalk art in front of her church live, which is just crazy. But we want to know what, Rhonda, your most incredible thing that you've done is. I want to know. I know Rhonda had a bakery. That impressed me. Her food is very impressive, but experience. I want to know what experience you've had. This is really flat here. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to smooth that down. I still got to give more definition for the nose. So I should probably angle this way a little bit more. So yeah, besides having babies, that's an easy out. I already told Heather that couldn't count. So experience other than, I mean, I'm not discounting that because I have no idea what that's like, but I wanted like an experience, like, you know, that was just incredible. So a little more off the top there. Some comments, trying to figure out what they're all saying. Oh, thanks, Tracy. Yeah, I been wood carving for a while. Thanks for bouncing in for a while. Hey, George. It wouldn't be the Whiskered Woodcarving Show without you. So we're talking about what's your most impressive thing you've done. Leslie, of course, is doing all this stuff with crickets. Heather is a chalk painting live. Carrie swing dance. I flew the space shuttle simulator. what is the most of impressive thing you've done? Well, thanks, George. I'm hoping this is relaxing for you. I know right now everything's kind of getting crazy for everybody, so I think this is an important part of my day, is being able to de-stress a little bit with my friends and make a mess with some wood chips. But remember, everybody, if you're joining late, we're still giving away those penguins we carved at first. If you'd like to be entered in the contest, you know, the most creative share or the most shares, we got 2 penguins we're giving away. So those could be yours. George is in the running. He's like the #1 dude to beat. So Rhonda goes, in that case, I have to say my visit to Tel Aviv to be part of Monday.com stories worth telling. That's right. I remember that. That would have been a very, very cool trip. I'm glad you got to do that. That is very neat. And to train them at the same time about that stuff that you're really good at. That's really cool, Rhonda. All this stuff with crickets. Yeah. Leslie, I tell you, he's got a full life. Piano player, cricket guy. Yeah. Now this gets hard to do some of these cuts when you start rounding these off. It's just kind of awkward. About 9 minutes. You know, it doesn't look like we made much progress, but we have, defining some stuff. So, hey Jim, I hope you had a great day too. What we're talking about is what's your most impressive thing that you've ever had? You've had some great ones. Let's see. You know, I was trying to figure out, so like on this one, I just like carved it out and had the hat thing. I'm trying to think of a way to make it so the top of the hat kind of flows around his nose, and I just don't know if I have the skill or the wood to do that with, but I don't know. I'm trying to think how that would work. I was just kind of thinking about how to change it up a little bit. Oh, so George, Ditto goes, Kristen goes, ditto is why I'm here. Nice little chill spot in the middle of my day watching those little carvings come to life. Well, thank you, Kristen. I appreciate you coming by. Glad you find it relaxing, because I sure do. It's always fun, too, to chat with my friends online. And that's the thing. I have the timer up here just so to show you guys how much you can do in 30 minutes, but I'm not rushing. I'm just kind of having fun, making those happy little cuts. So George goes, boot camp is definitely one. I wouldn't have to say running the Spartan Pennsylvania Super One. Wow, the 5 hardest races in Spartan in 2016 was the hardest physical thing I've ever done, and it remains something I'm very proud of. Yeah, I would be proud of that too, George. That is really impressive. Yeah. That probably even beats the one Leslie's crickets. So Jim goes, tough one. Boot camp, OCS, jump school. I didn't know you did jump school, Jim. That's really awesome. Helping stand up the Marine Corps Special Operation, helping set up the Marine Corps Special Operations Command. That is very impressive, Jim. That is totally worth a little something, a little brag in there. See, this is probably the coolest thing about this type of live show is the stuff I learn about people is just really cool. And that's just what's really awesome about live. We can be kind of all locked down right now, but we can learn new things and connect with people. I think it's pretty awesome. I think Damien's here, and I'm going to say thanks for stopping by. This live show is a lot of fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. About 5 minutes. You're getting there. This is just a little. This is a little tough trying to figure out what I'm going to do. How I'm going to do it. Either way, I'm going to have to take some wood out. So I'm going to use my. This is a little gouge, little flex cut micro tool. I'm just going to start taking some of this around the nose and figure out, because I need to start rounding it down, so I need to have some place to get to. So I'm just going to do that a little bit. A little bit on the other side. Just taking a little bit off at a time. And I've already made some cuts around the sides there, so it kind of goes up to it and kind of peels it off a little bit. I still need to tighten it up a little bit. There we go. We're just taking a little bit off around the nose. You got to be really careful when you're doing these little parts, where, because when you take a little bits off, sometimes if you do it wrong against the grain, it'll split in a way that you don't want it to. Oh, Georgia becomes a shelter-in-place state on Friday. Wow, it's really surprising, Jim, that they're waiting till Friday. So is it pretty crazy in the Atlanta area right now? People trying to get ready for Friday? So I still got to round this front off a little bit to figure out how to do that and clean up. You know, these are kind of rough cuts, and then I'll go back in with my little V tool and a little skew that I have that'll kind of smooth some of that out. But right now I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to go with all this. Sweet. Yep. Michael, I'll be there. It looks like it's going to be fine to be there on Friday for game night. That'll be a lot of fun. I think it's so cool that you're continuing to do those. How many years is it, Michael, for your Friday night game night? It's got to be at least 4 or 5. Sixth year. Very cool, Michael. Getting there with the nose. See, we're kind of getting that rounded off a little bit. Just taking a little bit off at a time. 6th year public. Yeah, there's a lot of private ones there. Okay, I'm starting to get an idea what I'm going to do here. I know it's not really exciting carving a nose like this, but, you know, it is what it is right now. Some guys are really good doing like ambidextrous carving, and I've got to always figure out, okay, how am I going to get that cut? I'm going to move it. I'm going to hold the knife. I know it was a quick 30 minutes. I didn't get as much done as I kind of wanted, but you know what? Some days are just like that. But I did round off some things I wanted to and get it a little bit more progress around the nose there. that's looking pretty good. And a lot of this stuff will really start popping when, don't get me nervous about my knife, Heather. I know it's moving and it's scary, but I think I've got everything in control. That is why I wear that glove. Yeah, this is what I want to do. You don't see it at first, and it starts to come together. I know what I need to do. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I'm a big bluegrass fan. In fact, I played the banjo since junior high. Maybe one day I'll get it out and let this go. I'm trying to find some new stuff. I've got kind of a new playlist I'm putting together from these free music sites that I think you guys will like. So that's it. Knives down. Made some progress. Getting there. You know, this part down here when I make the bricks is pretty easy because bricks are flat, so it's not going to be too hard. But getting some of that definition in the nose, kind of figuring out how I want it to go. I'm going to round this off a little bit more probably next time. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress we made. We're getting there. You know, it's not a race. So don't forget to share this out and be entered for one of these little penguins that we carved. And yeah, I love hanging out with you guys. As always, at the end we give our knife a little sharpen before we put it back in the case. And sure enjoy our time together that we spend. We're doing it every day except for Sunday, about the same time. If I get hungry, I may have to make it a little bit later. But let's see. So let's go to the camera. Heather says, good times. Yeah, so Heather, I'm trying to do it like around 5-ish, but you know, sometimes it may be pushed a little bit back if I have a meeting or something. And I really appreciate you telling folks in your art show in the mornings. I think that's awesome. Someday, maybe the banjo. Oh, and you've been painting daffodils for 4 days. Yeah, it takes time. But I really appreciate you guys. Hey, it's never too late, Carrie, to learn the banjo. It isn't. It's really a lot of fun because it's hard to make a banjo sound sad. But thanks, everybody. Carrie says, happy evening, folks. Carrie, have a great evening. Remember, I want you to leave with 4 things. Number 1, we are apart but not alone. Number 2, I want you to wash your hands. And thirdly, hug them. If you got people near you that you can hug that you can go around and give them hugs in your house, do that. And lastly, pray for our doctors and nurses who are on the front lines. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you so much. Talk to you later.